So I'm thinking about this whole thing, what's happened recently with these larger ministries that have fallen and fallen from grace. Maybe they didn't fall completely, but they certainly fallen from grace. And how much pressure is behind them? Because I think when someone starts out, they don't want to say, I'm going to get into this and I'm going to have a ministry and I'm going to reach people and touch people, and then I'm going to colossally blow up in front of everyone. I don't think they're doing that. Maybe they do, but I don't think so. I think maybe it starts out with good intentions, and then it just blows up from there. But we can't be mad at people who act like people. We can't be mad at someone. You can't give someone a celebrity status as a minister or as a preacher of God or whatever. You can't give them celebrity status and then get mad when they act like a celebrity. I mean, who bought all the books? Who bought all the books? Who went to the conferences? Who bought into the programs? Who bought into that? Us. We did. We bought into and we put these people in that position. And the sad thing is, when someone gets in that position, you would think, with some notoriety and some following, you would think that they would have their act together. But it's not what happens. It's not human nature. Because the larger something gets, the more insulated that leader is from reality. And the people around that leader protect them from reality. And so they lose touch. They lose touch with what's actually going on. It's not, you could almost say it's not their fault. It's not their fault that they're human beings. And so we see we get these larger ministries where there's accountability type ministries that are pointing fingers at these ministers and these ministries that have fallen. But that's good. Accountability is good. But what we ignore is the system that created the mess in the first place. Because it's a system. It really is. When someone gets some momentum and they touch some lives and they get some momentum behind them, other people sign on to that mission. And if the charismatic leader can stay humble and stay accountable, everything works out. But when they can't, large ministries rarely fail, honestly. Large ministries rarely fail, but when they do, they fail spectacularly. Everybody's going to know about it. Whereas if you have a couple hundred people or 100 people and a minister in a local area, he fails, well, not very many people are going to know about it. And there's a reason. See, the larger you get, the less accountable you have to be. But the smaller you are, the more accountable you have to be, because if you mess around, you'll see, if you're smaller and you mess around, you'll see that person at the store. You'll be accountable because nobody thinks you're a big shot. They think they want to hold you accountable, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So smaller ministries are not under the same sort of pressure that large ministries are. Smaller ministries, they fail more often, honestly. Smaller ministries fail more often, but they do it quiet. Smaller ministries fail more often, but they do it quiet. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not a good thing. Smaller ministries fail more often, but they fail quietly. And so when we're looking at this, we have to take these things into account. Is that one larger ministry, a larger responsibility? There's people there that, in a large ministry that are making their living off of what's going on, and they don't want to lose their job, so they might cover something up so they can keep going and not lose their job. Smaller ministries, maybe not so much. They're just volunteers, so they don't have as much on the line. So anyway, that really, it's a lot of pressure. You know, I'm right below the Croix Falls Dam and Croix Falls between Minnesota and Wisconsin. And there's a lot of pressure behind me. There's a lot of pressure, but you know, in front of that pressure, it actually powers this dam over here. It powers this. Well, it powers a power plant. It doesn't power the dam. It powers a power plant. And so, you know, I was just thinking about this. You know, this pressure, and what goes on in larger ministries, and accountability, and accountability is good. Everybody needs that. We need accountability. We need someone to speak into our lives, but we never want to get too big. And then also, you know, this is kind of rambling, and then also we put people there. If you stop putting people on pedestals, they're less likely to fall, you know, off the pedestal. If we don't even put them on the pedestal, they're less likely to fall off of the pedestal. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing for them. Accountability is good for everyone. Absolutely everyone. I don't care what you say. So that's just what I'm thinking about. Till next time, God bless. See you soon.